Investing can be a difficult landscape to navigate, and trying to understand the intricacies of selecting brands or understanding investment strategies can be very difficult at best of times. That's why founder and CEO Zac Richman of LaunchVector is joining me to chat all about the new way to invest online. Zac, how you doing?
Good. Thanks so much for having me. How you doing?
Very good, thanks. I'm looking to understand more, and I'm sure our viewers would like to understand more about the idea of investing in brands, which brands to choose, and how to do it best. So with your expertise, are there key signs people should look for? What's the best direction people should take, and how do they start this journey?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, the main thing at the beginning is obviously you want to look at the financials and seeing, is something profitable, right? I think one of the main things when you're looking to acquire a business is, you're looking for cash flow. So first off, when we're choosing brands, we want to make sure obviously it's profitable. But then from there, it's more about looking at the margins. Does it actually have the margins for scale? So one of the things, when you're acquiring a business, you obviously want to grow it. And so if you have the margins in place, that allows you to scale. So that's one of the main things is we want to obviously look at the margins, look at the niches, things of that nature. But when we're buying a pre-existing brand outside of just the main things as far as profitability and margins, is the data. Does it have the historical data that we need to be able to scale it? And I think that's one of the main reasons why we want to acquire an existing business, is that you have the proven frameworks already there. You have that data, you have that runway. And so we look and see, what products were they marketing? What creatives were they using? And, is that something that we can take and scale 5, 10x over, a 2-5 year window of time?
Speaking of data and the modern technology, e-commerce is something that's been booming for a number of years now, but people might just be starting to become aware of the investment opportunities there. So with that data that's applied, and you can find out how things are progressing and margins, etc., with e-commerce, how should people choose about the investment in e-commerce and what brands to select from that?
Yeah, so the main thing is brand. Out of all of the different things that you're buying, the ones that you go back and buy again from are the brands that you like, the brands that you know of. And so brand always stays. And so with e-commerce, people are always buying things online. It's progressed more and more exponentially every single year. People want to buy things online, and they want to buy things from brands that they trust. Mm-hmm. And so when you own brand, you have the ability to really have a pool, an audience that trusts you, right? And trust is what brings them back. And so with an online e-commerce scale as it's going in the digital age, that's only going to continue to grow. And so being a part of that and something that's structured, and you have a pool of audience, of customers, people that trust you, that stays forever, right? And so getting into the e-commerce, it's very fast, it's very scalable, it's a very big upside. And so, I think everybody can attest to the fact that they do buy things online, and that's where it's going.
Clearly, you're someone who has knowledge of all of this. You understand the landscape. How does someone get involved in working with you, and how does that operate, and how many times they need to check in with you? How do you work, or do you tailor it to different people?
Good question, yeah. And so we're very unique in our structure. So we acquire pre-existing Shopify brands, things that have already scaled, done at least, a few 100,000, multiple millions in revenue already. Now, a lot of people that want to acquire a pre-existing brand, they want the upsides, right? You want the cash flow. You want a business that's bringing in customers every day, but you might not have the background experience of email marketing, Facebook ads, all of the things that come along with e-commerce. So our background for the last about decade was as a digital marketing agency. So we would help other brands scale, build their business up. And as we went through that process, we recognized that as we scale the revenue, we're also scaling valuation. So that's kind of how we transitioned over to the acquisition side. As a marketing agency, we helped a lot of brands scale to the point where they exited and said, thanks. And so we realized, hey, that's something we want to be a bit more a part of as far as the evaluation and the equity portion of it. So when people want to come and acquire a business, we come in as the operational partner to fully manage all of that stuff from our background experience. So they come in, they might not know how to operate a Shopify store. We come in, fully take care of that, but they get to have the upsides of owning a pre-existing brand. So they get to see and be a part of everything as far as scaling the media spend to the fulfillment, but not having to actually be in the trenches of doing that. And so that's kind of how our partnership works, is we bring in capital partners to acquire the businesses, but then we bring our expertise to actually manage that fully for them.
It's like full service, front end, back end, and expertise throughout. That's fascinating. I'm sure people are out there interested in learning more. So Zach, where can our viewers go to learn more information?
Yeah, our website has most of our information, launchvector.com. You'll see a series of different testimonial capital partner experiences and everything you kind of need to learn more about our company.
There you have it, folks. Again, visit launchvector.com to learn more.